A large-scale fitness center, in Gangnam Seoul Fitness Center, in a small office room for employees' office room, in a large-scale fitness center in Gangnam Seoul. A man with a muscular body was doing a mukbang live broadcast with fried chicken and beer, and the muscular man started doing the mukbang broadcast and said, "Hello everyone. This is Choi Kang-yuk, best gym Radav. Because of all your requests today, I'll be doing a mukbang of the honey chicken and Kix beer that have been trending recently. Then I'll get right to eating Haw. This is really good, a sip of beer too." This muscular guy was named Choi Kang-yuk. I'm sure you can tell from his muscles, but Choi Kang-yuk was obsessed with working out. He was not a gym rat from birth. Of course, there is actually a reason why he became like this. It was because he had once been so injured that it would have been hard for him to walk if he did not work on his muscles. He was severely injured while on a Special Forces mission. He began taking physical therapy and going to a chiropractor to recover. After that, he began taking on more forms of exercises such as yoga plates and anything that he heard was good for you. He even studied nutrition to better his diet. One day he had become the nation's best gym rat, nation's best fitness trainer. So why is he streaming a mukbang while worrying about losing his muscles in the corner of this fitness center? It is because of the pandemic disaster that had hit the entire world in order to keep up with the maintenance of the gyms. Choi Kang-yuk had no choice but to become a streamer. However, the profits were nowhere near enough to upkeep 5 gym locations. Choi Kang-yuk said goodbye to his viewers after the mukbang broadcast and closed the broadcast. Choi Kang-yuk was tired of this pandemic life and said the following, "Ha ha ha. I'm already worried about tomorrow. I ate fried chicken and beer. That's so many calories. I want to work out right away. But that will be really hard on the body because on the alcohol intake." Choi Kang-yuk. He looked at the fried chicken and beer he had finished and thought, "How did things get like this?" Choi Kang-yuk said, "I'll just rest for today." The doctor said I needed to rest. Choi Kang-yuk had been to the doctor recently, and the doctor told Choi Kang-yuk that hair loss caused by stress. Choi Kang-yuk was shocked by the doctor's words. The doctor continued, "I guess you didn't notice because you're so healthy, but your body is already on the brink of breakdown because of all the stress you need to cut down on your work. Otherwise, you will become bald." Choi Kang-yuk was shocked to learn from the doctor that if he continued to live with so much stress, he would become bald. Choi Kang-yuk was shocked to learn that if he became bald, he wouldn't even have a girlfriend, and people wouldn't be able to have a girlfriend with him. The doctor thought he was going to make fun of him. Then said Choi Kang-yuk, "I'll prescribe you some medicine for it. But the most important thing is to decrease your stress. You need to rest, okay?" Choi Kang-yuk had always played sports until now. He had never had any free time. Now he was thinking about what to do to relieve the stress. Choi Kang-yuk picked up his phone and started looking for something. Choi Kang-yuk thought while looking at the phone, "I had forgotten all about it because of my busy lifestyle. But I used to love reading Murim novels when I was a child." For Choi Kang-yuk, who had grown up poor under his grandparents, borrowing Murim novels from the corner bookstore was a fond memory for him. Choi Kang-yuk thought about this. "Grandpa used to lecture me for going there of often." Choi Kang-yuk decided to read Murim novels to relieve stress. He was browsing the internet on his phone looking for a good Murim novel saying this person author, "Absolute Demons Return, an Unorthodox Faction's Tyranny." Wow, I really loved those as a kid. Choi Kang-yuk was looking for Murim novels when a new novel caught his attention. The novel is called Shaolin Monk Chronicles. Murim Gajong du Novel. Choi Kang-yuk clicked on the novel and read the description of the novel, and it said, "Shaolin Monk Chronicles, Mu Jin. The protagonist who just entered the Shaolin Temple will pave a new path." As a martial artist, Choi Kang-yuk to the page of the novel while looking at this Murim novella. Choi Kang-yuk liked it. Choi Kang-yuk started reading Murim novels again and thought, "This is really good. I feel relaxed now that I think about it. When was the last time I relaxed like this? I'm back in my childhood days. I'm sleepy." Choi Kang-yuk had found the novel to read and was excited to read it. But when he thought he was back to his childhood, Choi Kang-yuk suddenly fell asleep and started sleeping on the floor in his room. Suddenly a white light started coming from Choi Kang-yuk's phone. Then, while Choi Kang-yuk was asleep, a voice said to wake him up, "Jin Mu Jin Mu Jin Mu Jin. Wake up Mu Jin, We need to get to morning exercise." Hearing this, Choi Kang-yuk immediately got up and said morning workout. Choi Kang-yuk woke up, and there was a bald student monk in orange clothes in front of Choi Kang-yuk. The student monk in front of Choi Kang-yuk was anxiously saying to Choi Kang-yuk, "We're gonna be last, everyone else already left, we're gonna get yelled at." Choi Kang-yuk was confused. There was a student monk in front of Choi Kang-yuk. Choi Kang-yuk was saying, "Said kid, how did you get into my house and thought about Choi Kang-yuk? Who is this kid who shaved his head like student monk?" Choi Kang-yuk looked at Choi Kang-yuk and said, "What kid? I'm older and bigger than you." Choi Kang-yuk stood up and said, "You're bigger than me." Then Choi Kang-yuk thought about his own characteristics. Height, 180 centimeters. Body fat percentage 8, 10% weight. 90 per rep, max, 650. Name, Choi Kang-yuk. Job, personal trainer. Past, Special Forces. Standing up, Choi Kang-yuk put his hand on the shoulder of the student monk in front of him and said, "Kid, are your eyes hurt?" The student monk was confused. Choi Kang-yuk looked around and thought, "How did he even get into my house?" Choi Kang-yuk was thinking about this when he suddenly came to his senses and became a bald monk student with yellow eyes. Choi Kang-yuk was surprised to realize that he was a monk student and said, "What's wrong with my hair and where am I?" Choi Kang-yuk thought, "Wait, he called me Mujin. It sounds familiar. That's the name of the main character from the novel I was just reading. Why am I Mujin? Where am I? Wait, know my body. My muscles just fell asleep after reading." Then Choi Kang-yuk stopped thinking and decided that this extraordinary situation was a dream, and thought, "I did have a lot of dreams like this back when I read a lot of novels." The student monk next to Choi Kang-yuk said to Choi Kang-yuk, looking at Choi Kang-yuk, "What are you talking about? We're going to be really late." Choi Kang-yuk decided it was a dream, so he relaxed and said to the student monk, Yeah, let's go." Choi Kang-yuk looked at the student monk and thought, "What an adorable kid." Then the student monk and Choi Kang-yuk left the room they were in. Choi Kang-yuk on his way to his morning training thought, since this is just a dream, I'll just enjoy the situation. The student monk and Choi Kang-yuk were the last to arrive at the training site. All the student monks lined up, and there was an instructor who was training the student monks and Choi Kang-yuk, and the student next to him were the last to arrive. Monka said, "Late to the first schedule of the day, you need to be taught a lesson. Take your places." The student next to Choi Kang-yuk monk apologized, and the instructor said, "We're going to start with horse stance first." Choi Kang-yuk at this time thought this dream feels real. Horse stance, is he talking about squatting? Thinking about these things, Choi Kang-yuk started to look at the student monks in the training area around him. The student monks were doing the horse stance movement by forcing their cats to tired and shaking. Seeing the monk students pushing themselves, Choi Kang-yuk thought that since he was a personal trainer in real life, wait, what the hell, you're gonna wreck your knees if you do it like that genius martial arts trainer.
As Choi Kang-yuk went through rehabilitation training, he started to do proper exercises. He knew just how important lower body and core exercises were more than anyone else. There were times when he saw trainers who taught wrong exercises and focused solely on upper body exercises. They're missing out on the core of exercising. He thought it's a situation where a true gym goer can't tolerate. Choi Kang-yuk looked at the monk students doing a move that could injure their knees and thought, no, their legs are too far apart. They need to straighten their backs and naturally lean forward. The instructor shouted to the monk students, "The lower body is the foundation of martial arts." Choi Kang-yuk heard the instructor's words and thought, for someone who knows that, why would you ask us to do this? Then, the instructor continued, if you aren't able to use your lower body to maintain your balance, you won't be able to exert your strength properly in any punching or staff techniques. Choi Kang-yuk looked at the instructor who said these things and said, what is he saying to these kids who don't even have the right posture? Choi Kang-yuk thought that the situation he was in was a dream, and even in the situation he was in, he couldn't give up his ideals as a trainer, and he thought, unfortunately, he's not the kind of man to just allow others to exercise with the wrong posture. even if that means it's only happening within a dream. Choi Kang-yuk was angry and shouted, "He said this, Tesk? You ignorant rascals who don't know a single thing about exercising." Choi Kang-yuk, after he shouted, all the people in the training area were looking at Choi Kang-yuk in amazement. The monk student Mu Yul, who was next to Choi Kang-yuk, came up to Choi Kang-yuk's ear and said, "Mu Jin, what's wrong, what's wrong?" The body Choi Kang-yuk was in was called Mu Jin. Hearing what Choi Kang-yuk said, the instructors shouted, "Brat, how dare you shout nonsense in the middle of a training session? How dare you make up excuses just because the training is tough? Do you think that's behavior befitting of a Shaolin disciple? Get into position right now." Choi Kang-yuk felt a lot of pressure from the instructors yelling because he was in a martial arts novel. But Choi Kang-yuk later told the instructor angrily, "I simply pointed out that something was wrong." Choi Kang-yuk had faced harder people than this when he was an instructor. He thought this situation was lighter than them. The instructor came in front of Choi Kang-yuk and said angrily, "Your Shaolin disciple, are you saying that the training of Shaolin is wrong?" Choi Kang-yuk still thought he was in a dream and was excited. Choi Kang-yuk told the instructor, "Yes, if we keep training with the current method, we'll injure our knees and suffer greatly in our later years." Choi Kang-yuk started talking to the instructor. The instructor said that's just an excuse made by those who are weak. Choi Kang-yuk said, "Isn't martial arts for the weak to train their bodies and minds? But you're saying this isn't something the weak can learn." What a contradictory statement. Choi Kang-yuk's words. The instructor couldn't answer then. One of the instructors in the back came to help and said, "The way Shaolin trains is different from what you've mentioned. We train in martial arts so that we can improve ourselves and achieve enlightenment." Choi Kang-yuk said to the new instructor, "Ho, I see. I see you saying that the Shaolin is a place where the weak can't achieve enlightenment." The instructor suddenly became flustered and shouted, "That's not what I mean. I'm saying that we train our bodies in a harsh manner so that we can train our minds." The instructor said the mind of a human is weak. We seek comfort in times of difficulty and evil thoughts invade our minds easily. We're training our minds in advance so that we can endure and make it through such times. Choi Kang-yuk confidently said, "I guess training our mind is only needed when we're young." The instructor said, "What nonsense are you suddenly spouting, instructor?" He was listening to Choi Kang-yuk in amazement. Choi Kang-yuk continued, "Isn't that what you're saying? You said that in order to train our minds, it's okay to damage our knees when we're young after we grow old with a damaged body. We won't need to go through tough times like that. Does that mean that if that means that we suffer a little when we're young, we'll definitely be able to achieve enlightenment?" After Choi Kang-yuk's words, the students in the training area started to get worried. Seeing the students getting worried, the instructor started to get worried. Choi Kang-yuk then pointed his finger at the monk in yellow in the training area and said, "Oh, the monk over there. I wonder how much he's gone through for him to still be unable to achieve enlightenment at such an old age." Choi Kang-yuk's words stunned the students and instructors. The instructor Choi Kang-yuk was talking to thought, "This crazy brat, how dare a young brat say that to the first-class disciple?" Hai Young, the first-class disciple. Hai Young took a deep breath and yelled. Hu Jung's yelling created a lot of pressure in the training area. Then the first-class disciple, Hai Jung Choi, went up to Kang-yuk and said, "I heard everything you said, like what the second class disciple said. The martial arts of a Buddhist group is usually used to train oneself. That means it's just a tool to reach enlightenment. However, our martial arts are different." Choi Kang-yuk asked, "What's different?" Hai Jung said, "Our martial arts are used to rescue the masses. We use it to protect them from evil and demons that harass them." Choi Kang-yuk said, "Are you saying we are doing training that'll damage our knees so that we can protect the masses?" First-class disciple, Hai Jung Choi looked at Kongyuk and thought, this child, if we leave him be, there's a chance he'll bring about a bad influence to those around him. But the grown-ups of a Buddhist group can't punish a new and young monk personally in that case. Hai Jung told Choi Kongyuk that if you truly think that the training methods of the Shaolin is wrong, then prove it yourself. Choi Kongyuk asked, Hai Jung, how would you like me to prove it? Hai Jung replied, since our training is wrong, that means you know the correct way to train. If that's the case, I want you to try to win against those who've learned by the Shaolin training method. Choi Kongyuk was surprised and said, who will I be up against? You're not asking me to defeat you in a fight, right? Hai Jung looked back and said, it'll only be fair if you fight against someone who joined us at the same time as you. Right? Mu Gung stepped forward. The student Hai Jung called was bigger and taller than her peers. Hai Jung continued, if what you said is true, I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I'll give you 7 days starting from today after you train yourself in the methods you consider to be correct. You'll spar with him. Choi Kongyuk looked at Hai Jung and said, that guy's obviously of a different weight class from me, though he calls this fair, seriously acting like he cares about fairness. He wants to keep me pinned down while leaving me no room to complain or talk back by using someone who joined at the same time. Mu Gung came in front of Choi Kongyuk, and Choi Kongyuk was standing next to Mu Gung like a child. And Choi Kongyuk thought, what a horrible senior. Hai Jung with a smile on his face, thought, haha, now that I've created this situation, he won't be able to say anything more. Choi Kongyuk confidently said to Hai Jung, all right then, I'll do just that. After Choi Kongyuk agreed to the fight. Hai Jung and Mu Gung were angry. Hai Jung turned around and said as he left the training grounds, Mu Jin, you've chosen to take the hard path. Huh, Amitabha? As Hai Jung left the training grounds. Continue training the students in training. Mu Yul, who was with Choi Kongyuk, told Choi Kongyuk, Mu Jin, why did you do that? Just go and apologize to Monk Hai Jung. Now okay then, one of the trainers called Mu Yul to take the position. Everyone in the training area was looking at Choi Kongyuk, angry and frustrated and hoping that Choi Kongyuk would be defeated in the 7-day torso fight. Choi Kongyuk was doing his own exercise that was different from the other students. He would not stay in the squat position. He would get up and come back to the squat position and repeat it over and over again. Choi Kongyuk. When Choi Kongyuk first did this exercise, one of the trainers said to Choi Kongyuk, why are you doing different exercises in the midst of training? Choi Kongyuk said, Monk Hai Jung permitted this. Am I not allowed to do it? Are you ranked higher than he is, Monk? Hai Jung stopped the instructor and said he would keep his word and let Choi Kongyuk do a different exercise while Choi Kongyuk was training. He was saying to the other kids, training, that's not how you should exercise. Goodness, your knees will be goners if you do that. You're still so young. Who will take responsibility if you damage your knees? Your cartilage will be damaged at this rate. I feel the pain you guys are doing through. Gosh, your training is so painful. Hearing Choi Kongyuk's words, Hai Jung tried to pretend he didn't see it. Monk Hai Jung angrily said, Namo Amitabha. Choi Kongyuk, who had been practicing since early morning, now needed to get the necessary nutrients. Mu Yul, Choi Kongyuk's companion, offered to go to dinner. Choi Kongyuk, who was tired, agreed. Choi Kongyuk arrived at the dining hall and was surprised to find that the food consisted of rice and some herbs. Choi Kongyuk knew that this was a temple and that it was natural to eat vegetarian here. Choi Kongyuk had exercised, and it is natural to eat a protein-heavy diet after exercise, but because he was in a temple, he knew he should eat vegetarian, but he still wanted protein. Choi Kongyuk said, what kind of shitty side dish is this? Then Choi Kongyuk started thinking that even though he was in a dream, he could smell the food and he thought the food smelled good, But even if it smelled good, it was a vegetarian dish, so he was depressed. Choi. Kang Yuk was angry because there was no protein with the food. Choi. Kang Yuk banged his fist on the table and said it was child abuse. One of the instructors they were eating with shouted that they should be quiet while eating Choi. Kang Yuk shouted that they had been training all day and he thought they were being cruel because they only gave us vegetarian food. Two instructors stood up angrily. They got up. The instructors told him to be disrespectful. One of the instructors angrily went in front of Choi Kang Yuk and said that Choi Kang Yuk needed a lesson. Choi Kang Yuk was angrily clenching his teeth and thought, why is he getting all angry after giving us such a shitty meal? If we exercise that much, we need to get protein. I won't let this go. I can't let my morning exercise go to waste. While Choi Kang Yuk was nervously thinking about this, the door opened and a man in a black suit came in behind Choi Kang Yuk. Seeing this, the instructor shouted, "Hall Leader Hyun Mun." The man in a black suit who came in Hyun Mun Food Hall Leader takes care of meals in Shaolin. Hyun Mun laughing. I was passing by, so I came in. Hyun Mun Choi Kang Yuk. Looks like you're very hungry. If the food's not enough for you, you can get more Choi. Kang Yuk said the food was enough. Hyun Mun asked Choi Kang Yuk if he would like some more side dishes, while Hyun Mun was thinking, it's just the grumbling of a hungry child. I'll just be generous and overlook his grumbling. Choi. Kang Yuk turned to Hyun Mun, who was taking care of the food, and said, do you have protein supplement? I mean, chicken breasts. Hyun Mun and everyone in the room was surprised, and they were thinking about how Choi Kang Yuk was saying crazy things. Mu Yul asked worriedly why Mu Jin was acting weird since morning. Is there something wrong with her head? Choi Kang Yuk shouted that they need protein. Later, Choi Kang Yuk realized that something was weird while looking at Mu Yul. Choi Kang Yuk thought about what he had been going through since morning. When I exercise, I get tired. On top of that, I can smell the food. If this was a dream, I would have woken up by now. Don't tell me, is this reality? Damn it. I need to do something about this situation. First, I'm now a young monk in Shaolin Temple. Something appropriate to say now would be Choi Kang Yuk decided to run away for real. He had accepted that he was a Murim novel Inde, and now he had to live like Mu Jin. Realizing the reality of the situation, Mu Jin apologized to everyone, saying that he acted like this because he was too open. Hyun Mun looked at Mu Jin and thought that he was very tired from training. Mu Jin took a risk and asked Hyun Mun if he could buy beans and martyr. Hyun Mun thought Mu Jin was crazy with an angry expression. Mu Jin was taking a class on Buddhist texts. Mu Jin was thinking during the class, I can't believe we're studying Buddhist scriptures right after breakfast and early morning training. I think even Buddha would be scared of this harsh schedule. Well, for now, let's say I've entered the world of the novel. How on earth do I get back home? Oh, since I'm in the novel, can I get out when the story is completed? Looking at it from that perspective, the situation isn't all bad since Mu Jin is the protagonist in the novel. He possesses exceptional talent, and Shaolin Temple is the strongest among the Orthodox alliance we're talking about. Shaolin here. The North Star of Mount Tai. Mu Jin was in the middle of class, thinking about this when suddenly she dropped the brush in her hand and made ink all over the floor. Mu Jin shouted in a loud voice. Everyone in the class was looking at Mu Jin uncomfortably. Mu Jin thought, if there's a problem, I think I've been morked by others. Well, the deed's already been done. Since things have come down to this, I'll win in the spar and get them to acknowledge my training methods. Elsewhere in the temple, Hai Jung was talking to Hyun Mun. Hai Jung nervously asked Hyun Mun if he was serious. Hyun Mun laughed. Hyun Mun said Mu Jin was unique. He said he was a child. Hai Jung nervously told Hyun Mun that he could apologize instead of Mu Jin. Hyun Mun asked what he thought about Mu Jin. Hai Jung said what he thought about Mu Jin. After the 7 days I gave him, he'll spar with Mu Gung and prove that what he said is correct. Hyun Mun Shuni said, Hai Jung, you're truly wise. I can't think of a better idea than that as a practitioner of Buddhism. We can't punish a disciple just because they act out of line, but you said he'll be facing Mu Gung in a spar form. What I've heard, he's the most competent disciple among the new disciples. We've gotten this year in Shaolin Temple, they recruit hundreds of new disciples every year. Among them, some would drop out because they can't withstand the harsh training of Shaolin. Some would only learn the basic martial arts and go to an outer sect in the end. Only 10% of those who joined would remain in the main temple. That's why in this period the first-class disciples or the elders would usually not know the names of the new monks. Mu Gung was one of the few rare cases first-class disciple. Hai Jung believed that the winner of the battle would be Mu Gung, and that it would be a good lesson for Mu Jin. The day of the fight between Mu Jin and Mu Gung came, and Mu Jin and Mu Gung walked to the stage where they were going to fight the referee of the match. Heyu Jung-do said the promised 7 days have passed. The two of you get ready to spar. Mu Gung had an angry look on his face, but Mu Jun looked confident. Mu Jung looked confident. Mu Yul asked Mu Jin what he was doing. Mu Jin said he was stretching. Mu Yul didn't understand what stretching was. Mu Jin thought, right, I need to say it in martial arts terms. Mu Jin changed the name of the stretching movement and said, Mu Yul a tendons extension technique. Stretching, it's done before the actual exercise. It prepares your muscles and tendons, so your body isn't shocked. Various postures and stretching methods exist. It increases the flexibility of your muscles and increases the movement range of your joints. Mu Jin. If you wonder, Mu Yul asked Mu Jin if he meant if he's doing it. Mu Yul said, do you want me to try it? Mu Jin said yes. Mu Jin said yes. Mu Jin made Mu Yul do the stretching while the other students around were talking about what they were doing. Mu Yul said to Mu Jin while he was doing the stretching. Mu Jin asked Mu Jin if I just need to hold my back in this position. Mu Jin said to Mu Yul that he was really doing it well. Mu Jin thought, I wonder if it's because he's young but he's so quick at picking things up. While Mu Yul and Mu Jin were stretching, Mu Gung was telling the students around to look at Mu Gung's punches. Mu Gung was doing a powerful punching technique. The students around were watching Mu Gung admiringly. Mu Yul's attention had shifted to Mu Gung's punching technique. Seeing this, Mu Jin thought, shoot, I'll be in deep trouble if I get hit by that. I'm supposed to defeat that guy with just 1 week of training. How do I beat him? Or right, I just need to use that we go back to when the match started. Hai Jung saw Mu Jin training with the tree at night. Hai Jung thought Mu Jin looks like he wasn't making an excuse to escape training. Although he didn't listen to our instructions, he seems to have trained in his own way. Hai Jung thought Mu Gung could teach Mu Jin a good lesson. Mu Gung had a smile on his face and was thinking, he's looking at me. Monk Hai Jung is looking at me. I'm sorry, but I'll climb the ladder by trampling on you. Mu Jin was stretching in front of Mu Gung in order not to get hurt while in battle. Mu Jin asked Hai Jung if we can start right away. After these words, Mu Gung and Hai Jung had an angry look on their faces. Hai Jung took a step forward to Mu Jin and Mu Gung. Mu Gung thought, I'll show you the results of my consecutive punches which I've trained for 3 months. Hai Jung started the match. As soon as the match started, Mu Jin rushed forward to get closer to Mu Gung. Mu Gung was surprised when Mu Gung saw this. Mu Jin tried to grab Mu Gung. Mu Gung stepped back and tried to punch Mu Jin while Mu Gung was punching. Mu Jin dodged the punch. Everyone was surprised to see Mu Jin dodge the punch. Mu Jin headed towards the ground and grabbed Mu Gung's leg. Mu Jin had learned fighting techniques while working in the special forces, but these fighting techniques were for killing people. Mu Jin didn't want to use these techniques on a child, so he decided to use another technique. Mu Jin grabbed Mu Gung's leg and Mu Jin used this tackle technique and knocked Mu Gung down. Mu Jin grabbed the arm of the downed Mu Gung and used the armbar technique and locked Mu Gung's arm. The other instructors and disciples who saw Mu Jin trapping Mu Gung could not believe what they were seeing. Mu Gung, motionless on the ground, was thinking, "What is this? This is impossible. What on earth is he doing to me?" After the second-class disciples regained their composure, they gave all sorts of ridiculous advice to Mu Gung, but they also knew it by then, even though they don't know what an armbar is since they've trained for at least 10 years in martial arts. They know just how painful that position would be on his arm. Mu Gung was struggling so hard he couldn't stand the pain of his arm. Mu Jin warned Mu Gung that if he didn't surrender his arm would break, but Mu Gung was trying to fight back. The second-class students were supporting Mu Gung by saying, "Hey, get up now, that kid hasn't even trained that much. What are you doing? Get out of there quickly." Mu Jin said, "Mu Gung, a come on, the bone in your arm will be dislocated if I exert more strength. I'm sure you can feel it. You could end up a cripple if something goes wrong." Everyone was shouting Mu Gung. Mu Gung couldn't stand the pain in her arm and started crying. Everyone was surprised to see Mu Gung crying. Mu Jin got upset and let go of Mu Gung's arm and said, "I let go already. Sorry, this was my bad." Second, the class students looked at Monk Hai Jung and asked what they should do. Hai Jung had an angry look on his face. Mu Jin was taking care of Mu Gung's arm that Mu Gung had injured and said, "Why did you guys have to make two children fight morning sparring?" Mu Jin vs Mu Gung. "Why did you guys have to make two children fight? The victor is Mu Jin." Chain punch. It's one of the 8 extremities fist. It utilizes the fist, the elbow, and the shoulder. As the main weapons, this allows you to quickly defeat your opponent in short range, and it is known for being very powerful. Mu Gung has mastered the chain punch the most out of all of the young monks. Even the second-class disciples were impressed by him chain punch. But this morning, his brilliant chain punch pathetically missed without even proper resistance to some strange young monk who uses weird techniques. Mu Gung was crying, saying that this war was unfair. Mu Jin asked what he meant by unfair. Mu Gung said, "You charged at me as soon as it began. You attacked me with some strange technique that wasn't the chain punch." Mu Gung cried, saying that as long as it was fair he could win against anyone. Mu Jin, to comfort Mu Gung, said, Right, you're the best, our little Mu Gung. You're right." Mu Gung kept crying, saying that his name was Mu Gung, not Mu Gungwa. The second-class students approached Mu Jin and said angrily, "Mu Gung does have a point. It's given that one would use Shaolin's martial arts when sparring in Shaolin. You have broken that rule." Mu Jin looked at the second-class students and thought, what a stupid ideology this is. Second, a student from one of the classes asked Mu Jin why he didn't use the chain punch technique. Mu Jin started to explain why he didn't use it. "Had I used the chain punch, the fight would have dragged on forever. Why is he nitpicking this? If that happened, we would have both gotten severely injured. So I just prioritized the essence of a duel, which is to take down the opponent." I did make him cry, but I was able to take him down without a single physical injury. Second, the second-class disciple shouted nervously, "That's nonsense. You fought him without using Shaolin's martial arts." Mu Jin told the second-class disciples that they were talking nonsense. The second-class disciples looked at the new disciples anxiously and nervously and thought Shaolin's chain punch was so easily defeated by some new untrained kid and his stange technique. At that, I don't want to admit it, but Mu Gung did lose. We're just refusing to acknowledge that. At this rate, people might start doubting Shaolin's martial arts, or worst-case scenario, all of the new disciples might leave Shaolin's. Second-class disciples looked at Hu Jung and saw Hu Jung smiling at Mu Jin. Then Hai Jung called out to Mu Jin and said, "Is it true that you used that technique in order to take Mu Gung down without doing him any harm?" Mu Jin replied, Yes. Hu Jung smiled and said to Mu Jin, then you stayed true to the essence of Shaolin. You are the winner of the duel. Everyone watching the battle was surprised. Mu Jin thought you're telling me this boomer is really acknowledging that I won Hu Jung Mu Jin against Shaolin. The reason your skill was more effective than the chain punch is because your opponent's level was that of a loser's. The ultimate reason we learn martial arts is to take down evil and the demonic heads who have learned martial arts. I'll personally show you the essence of Shaolin's martial arts. The real power of Shaolin, which can take down the evil demonic heads, bring a boulder. The second-class students carried a large boulder and brought it to the training hall. All the new students and Mu Jin were watching in amazement. Hu Jung stood in front of the boulder and told all the students around to watch carefully. Hu Jung was going to show the true power of the chain punch technique by punching the boulder. Hu Jung took a deep breath and gathered his strength in his fist and then punched the rock. The students and Mu Jin were very excited to see how the rock was smashed with a punch. Mu Jin thought after seeing the punch, Kaya, that's it. That's real martial arts. Martial arts is like that. Just one impact is enough to break open a mountain, and one swing of the sword can bring down hundreds of enemies, and one punch is enough to explode the enemy. More than. Mu Jin realized something and raised his hand and called out to Hu Jung and said, didn't you say that it's to overpower the enemy without harming them? Hu Jung said, yes. Mu Jin then pointed to the broken boulder on the ground and said, but you broke the boulder to pieces. Everyone who thought about what Mu Jin said thought Mu Jin was telling the truth. A strange silence took over the training hall. One again around morning, Hu Jung had gone to his master to discuss Mu Jin. That day, Hyun Sung Arhat Hall leader in charge of education. Hu Jung's master Hyun Sung told his student, Hu Jung, so what you're telling me is that this kid, Mu Jin, defeated Mu Gung with just one move. Hyun Sung started thinking about Mu Jin. Hu Jung approved of his master. Hyun Sung said, he's definitely no ordinary child. Hu Jung looked worried and said, yes, he's rather arrogant, but he trains the chain punch the hardest out of all the young monks. It's just, Hyun Sung seriously told his student, you're worried that he's training the chain punch to try and figure out its fatal weak points. Hu Jung confirmed what his master said. Hu Jung then suspected Mu Jin and told his master his suspicions, if he's a spy of the unorthodox alliance or maybe the demonic cult. Hu Jung thought Mu Jin came from the demonic cult. Hyun Sung thought if that child is a spy. Hyun Sung. Mu Jin didn't think that Mu Jin was a spy, because he thought that if he was a spy, he wouldn't do something so remarkable. Hu Jung Mu Jin was doing reverse psychology. Hyun Sung Mu Jin concluded his speech by saying there's nothing to be worried about. More importantly, he's still a new disciple. We'll observe him over time and find out if he's just unique or if he really is a spy. Hyun Sung thought a little more after saying this and thought that maybe Mu Jin came from a martial family. Hu Jung thought about his master's words that make sense. I doubt he could have come up with those strange training exercises by himself. Hu Jung told his master that those training methods could be what he learned in his family. Hyun Sung told his student that the greatest figure in a child's life is their father. Maybe he just wants to prove that his father's teachings are better than Shaolin's, which has been around for more than a millennium. And since he defeated Mu Gung, he'll become more arrogant. What should we do about him? Hyun Sung started wondering what to do with Mu Jin. All right, how about we leave him to B.O.B. gang? Hu Jung said, what you mean, the one who's in the discipline court? The second-class students were talking amongst themselves at night, and they opened a door to go to where they were sleeping. One of the second-class students saw something and was very surprised the person behind the door told them to go somewhere else. But the other two students thought he was a coward. The second-class students hid behind the door and looked at the man who was training the Mad Dog rules. Fanatic mean BOB gang Mad God horse stance. 3 class students started talking amongst themselves. He usually trains late at the training ground. What is he doing here? Can't you see for yourself? He's practicing the horse stance, but why is he doing that here instead of at the training ground? Well, it's obvious. I guess he wants to keep training without rest. Damn, he's so tenacious. We already know just how tenacious he is. Stop acting like you're new here. That's true. He's called the Mad Dog for a reason. I think his nickname shouldn't be Rules Fanatic, but Rules Dog instead. The Mad Dog of the Discipline Court rules. Dog, what a befitting place for him. Esk. You still haven't heard he's going to be in the Arhat Hall starting tomorrow. Wasn't he confirmed to be in the Discipline Court? There are even rumors that he'd become the next master of the Discipline Court. Why would he go somewhere else? Are you saying that I need to live life with that Mad Dog again? Among the second-class disciples, BOB Gang, who is pretty influential, has always grilled his juniors, ever since they were third-class disciples and maintained the discipline of Shaolin. Second-class students continue to talk to him. He said that he's going to join all the halls and courts to learn about the rules of Shaolin before going back to the discipline court as expected of the rules. Fanatic, he lives and swears by rules after all. Well, that's why, despite being scary, he's worthy of respect too. The protector of rules. BOB Gang has worked hard to be a role model for the rest. It's because he doesn't think it would be correct to ask others to follow the rules if he's not able to follow them himself. Obviously, he also spent way more time in basic training than the others. After training without much rest, his knees underwent brutal training. If he doesn't use internal energy, he'd experience so much pain that even walking would be tough. That's how damaged his knees are right now. However, he didn't care. Basic training is both physical and mental training. He had considered the pain that came with the training to be a part of training his mind, and he just finished practicing the horse stance for more than 30 minutes. BOB Gang was tired after practicing the horse stance for more than 30 minutes. BOB Gang said this about Mujin, the problem. Child and a promising disciple of the Arhat Hall. I will definitely teach him the correct mindset a Shaolin disciple should have. Second-class students were surprised to see BOB Gang at the training ground. BOB Gang. Second, he told the class disciples why he was in the training ground. I'll be joining Arhat Hall instead, so I'll be working with you guys from now on. Yeah, I look forward to working with you guys. BOB Gang, formerly from the Discipline Court. Currently in the Arhat Hall, nicknamed Rules. Fanatic Mujin looked at BOB Gang's body and thought he had a body like a soldier. Mujin saw what's happening and figured out their situation quickly. He must be the second-class disciples, disciplinary, BOB Gang. Well, that's none of my business. BOB Gang shouted that morning practice had started. All the new students were doing horse stance. BOB Gang was thinking about his injured knees. In order to guide someone, we must first find out the exact problem. If you know the enemy and yourself, you will win every single battle. I need to know the root of the problem in order to treat it accurately. BOB Gang was walking among the students and saw Mujin doing a different horse stance than the other students. Then BOB Gang started practicing Mujin's move to see if Mujin's move would help his injured knees after a while. BOB Gang thought Mujin's move was no different than a normal horse stance because Mujin's knees were still opening. Mujin stopped training and came to BOB Gang and said he did that move wrong. BOB Gang asked what was wrong. Mujin said your posture is wrong. BOB Gang asked what was wrong. Then looked at Mujin BOB Gang and thought, I'll have to teach him from A to Z. I don't know why he's trying to copy what I'm doing, but every time he bends his knees, I can hear his knees popping. His body is basically screaming, my knees are damaged as a trainer. I can't ignore this, come to think of it. He's supposed to be the disciplinary master. Here, wouldn't it be really good if I have him on my side? I'll make my life easy in this place by winning him over, since he's got authority here. Mujin was thinking about this when Bob Gang asked again what was wrong. Mujin told Bob Gang, if you do what I did with a bad knee, then it'll do you more harm than good. Can you trust me and move according to how I tell you to Bob Gang? Mu was surprised that Jin realized that he had injured knees. Then Mujin had Bob Gang do the stretching lunge, which he thought would be good for his knees, seeing that Bob Gang was doing this movement comfortably. Mujin said, "That's good, your body is so flexible." Then Mujin continued, "This is called the tendons extension technique. This posture will loosen the muscles in your knees. If you do this warm up before the actual exercise, you'll be able to even do the movements in a softer manner and reduce the pressure placed on your knees." Bob Gang understood that the movement had a different feel. Mujin continued, "Do this movement with a 30-second interval. And that makes a set. I mean, you just need to do this 3 times. Then Mujin noticed that Bob Gang's knee was shaking while he was doing the move and sat Bob Gang down and started touching his knee. He asked Bob Gang if he felt better. Bob Gang was in pain from Mujin touching his knee. Mujin thought while touching Bob Gang's knees, he feels pain. Even though I'm just lightly massaging his knee, the training he's done has put so much pressure on his knees. No wonder it's so damaged. Bob Gang. Mujin thought while touching his knee at first, it was so painful as if someone just hit my knee. But now, I'm feeling more relieved and strangely refreshed. Mujin Bob Gang in. He finished looking at his knee and Mujin said to Bob Gang, all right. Then we were on the second round, but we stopped, so we're starting it again now. Get up." Bob Gang asked Mujin if it was now. Mujin said to Mujin as Mujin pushed Bob Gang off his back. "Education waits for no one." Bob Gang told Mujin to wait a minute. Bob Gang looked at Mujin and thought, Mujin, just what kind of child is he? Behind Mujin and Bob Gang, first-class disciple. Hai Jung saw Mujin and Bob Gang getting cozy and said, "What is Bob Gang doing with that kid?" Second-class disciple said to Hai Jung's question, "I can't tell." Bob Gang also called rules. Fanatic, someone who's fanatical over rules. The one crazy over rules. The dog of the discipline court, nicknamed Mad Dog, Bob Gang had been haunting the second-class disciples without rest, ever since they joined Shaolin Temple. They know just how crazy and obsessive Bob Gang can be, but that very Bob Gang is now acting friendly and training with a strange new monk. Bob Gang's behavior had baffled the second-class students. Bob Gang and Mujin continued training. Mujin Bob Gang said, "Bob Gang was the posture you were doing earlier, as if you were sitting on a chair." Bob Gang said, "Yeah, you said I shouldn't do that just now." Mujin said, "That's because your knees are currently in a bad condition. You need to bend your knees slightly to reduce the pressure put on your knees." Bob Gang said, "Got it, just bend my knees slightly." Jin decided to summarize the exercise for Bob Gang to understand it better. 1. Fader. You bend your knees slightly, slowly sit down. 2. As you sit down, you must avoid exerting strength from your knees. Exert strength only from your thighs and butt. 3. Just like step 2. Only exert strength from your thighs and butt when standing up. Great job, how do your muscles feel? Bob Gang responded to Mujin's question by saying that their muscles felt good. Mujin then said that they had done a good job and they needed to rest a little bit. Bob Gang thought that the movement Mujin had done was less painful. Mujin was excited to be training someone again. Bob Gang said to Mujin, "Now that we've done 3 rounds of this exercise, let's move on to your calves." Mujin thought that, yeah, This is what an experienced personal trainer is like for members that look like soldiers unlike their fierce appearances. They're really weak to people who are very friendly. Mu Jin was resting when BOB Gang said to him, "Wow, this is great. You managed to correct your posture so quickly as expected of someone who regularly exercises." BOB Gang laughed and said, "Ha ha. Of course it's been 18 years since I've joined Shaolin Temple second." Class students were talking about the BOB Gang. Did he really go mad because we keep calling him Mad Dog? Maybe he's gone crazy. Hai Jung was uncomfortable with BOB Gang and Mu Jin getting along, and he felt the blood pressure rising. Hai Jung said Namo Amitabha with an angry face. Hai Jung had such a headache that he decided to ignore the two of them for now. Morning training was over and everyone left the training right for lunch. During this time, BOB Gang and Mu Jin were talking. Mu Jin told BOB Gang, "Do what I just taught you when you are training your lower body. It would work best if you do it before your actual training." BOB Gang told Mu Jin that he understood. Although BOB Gang looked like he was bewitched as he followed Mu Jin's instructions. He didn't just follow them blindly, he simply decided to follow Mu Jin's instructions after experiencing Mu Jin's training methods for himself. This is what BOB Gang had decided after he received personal training stretching lessons and even a massage from a top-class personal trainer. BOB Gang thought the technique Mu Jin demonstrated was incredible. BOB Gang thought those were effective techniques that can't be spoken ill of, both the tendons, extension technique and the pressure relieving technique were amazing. I experienced almost none of the knee pains that I usually experience, and I could feel the stretch in the muscles of my lower body when I trained. BOB Gang asked Mu Jin what he learned these techniques from his family. Mu Jin replied, "Sorry." BOB Gang continued, "Seeing as how they are so effective, you must be from an extraordinary family. I was told that those techniques were passed on within your family for generations," Mu Jin said with a strange expression. "Oh, they had this kind of misunderstanding. Huh. Thinking back, I did act a little strangely. I was wondering how to come back from that, but this is great." Mu Jin said he learned his techniques from his family, favoring misunderstanding. BOB Gang laughed and said his family's techniques were great. BOB Gang. Mu Jin Ishuni said my praise only applies for the trapment. It did for my knees. We're training for martial arts and Shaolin has a history of 1,000 years. It's the best. I understand your heart for your family. But it'd be great if your training in Shaolin also improves. Mu Jin told BOB Gang that she would write down what he said. Mu Yul came and called Mu Jin. Mu Jin left the training ground to have dinner with Mu Yul, while Hai Jung approached behind BOB Gang. Sensing someone approaching from behind, BOB Gang quickly turned around and apologized to Hai Jung for looking ugly. Hai Jung said to BOB Gang, "It's good that you know you are ugly." BOB Gang boasted, "I have to know my enemies to win my battles, so I had to experience it myself." BOB Gang asked, "So what do you think after experiencing it for yourself?" BOB Gang said as much as he experienced it. Mu Jin came from a doctor family, not a martial arts family. Hai Jung asked BOB Gang why he thought so. BOB Gang first told Hai Jung that his knees were injured. Hai Jung asked BOB Gang why he didn't tell me. BOB Gang told BOB Gang that I didn't want to worry my seniors and elders, and most importantly, I didn't want to show my juniors a weak side of me. BOB Gang started to explain why he thought Mu Jin came from a family of doctors. BOB Gang said that Mu Jin knew at a glance that Mu Jin had a knee injury that even his friends who had been training with him for 10 years could not notice. BOB Gang then said that the moves he and Mu Jin did with Mu Jin were moves that did not strain his knees. Hai Jung worriedly said he might come from a family of physicians that treat martial artists. What do we do with him because of such a talented child like him? The training of Shaolin is about to collapse. Bob Gang told Hai Jung not to worry, he would guide Mu Jin to the right path. Nai Jung asked Bob Gang if he could do it. Bob Gang said confidently, "Young children tend to listen to the words of grown-ups that they're close with instead of being forceful with him. I'll get close to him and slowly teach him the training methods of Shaolin." Hai Jung, thinking Shunny, said, all right. Let's not rush things like you've suggested. I guess we'll need to take things slow. Bob Gang, I'm counting on you. A while later, afternoon training time. Mu Jin still hadn't gotten used to taking Buddhism classes after lunch. Mu Jin's face was starting to turn purple from exhaustion. Hai Jung started to explain in a loud voice, "It looks like all of you have perfected the form of the chain punch. So we'll go on to the next training. One can only exert the full prowess of martial arts by harmoniously combining internal and external energy from today. Onwards will prepare you to master your internal energy." Hai Jung. 2-second. Hai Jung told the class to show the new students how to gather energy. Hai Jung told the new students to sit in the lotus position. Mu Jin thought about what the lotus position was. The second-class students sat cross-legged on the floor and put their hands on the side of their abdomen. This is the lotus position. First, close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Breathe in as deeply as you can through your nose. After that, allow the air you've breathed in to pass through your nostrils and throat, and keep breathing until it reaches your energy core. Mu Jin was excited that she could create an energy core. Hai Jung told all the new students to get into the lotus position, while Mu Jin was thinking, all our training has been exercising so far that I was starting to get sick of it. We're finally learning something that looks like martial arts. Mu Jin wasn't the only one excited to learn, since it's the martial art they're finally learning after all the basic training and practicing the form of the chain punch. This inevitably gave the young monks a new reason to train. They're finally learning the 1,000-years-old martial arts of Shaolin. They all were dreaming of being able to break the boulder like monk Hai Jung showed them by doing a good job in learning the martial art. They focused on Hai Jung's voice and breathed in and out multiple times. After a while, Mu Jin opened his eyes a little and thought something was strange about the training they were doing.